Okay, so this is Barbara. Some of you probably know that I had a near-death experience in the ocean in 2004. I was swimming with several other people at the Emerald Isle retreat. The ocean was rough that day, but not terribly rough. And was a good swimmer. I grew up from the age of 5 or 6 playing in the ocean, maybe even younger, riding. In those days, we had canvas rafts, but riding the waves. It did not, even big waves held no fear for me, and I knew how to swim in the ocean. So by this point, though, I did not have good balance. And a big wave came in. And I grabbed it was one of these little but 3-4 foot buddy board with a rope, and I dived into the wave. No problem. I came up on the other side, and almost immediately, before I could get myself rebalanced, a new big, looking at my ceiling, probably, I'd say it was the height of my ceiling here, so 10-12 foot wave. Not huge, but big enough that it was imposing, towering over me. And I just couldn't get myself into a balanced place to go under it. So it caught me and it picked me up and threw me down face first into the ocean floor, knocked me unconscious. No, I'm wrong. I have the sequence wrong. Thank you, Eric. The first wave picked me up and threw me backwards. So the tip of my tailbone hit the ocean floor, and the buddy board that I was clinging to broke and cracked my ribs and my sternum. I was still conscious, but my legs wouldn't move. I was in very big pain. And scared. And before I could reorient myself at all, another wave picked me up and hit me, this time face down into the ocean floor. And I was knocked unconscious. I would say, semi-conscious. There were moments of consciousness and then gone, and moments of consciousness trying to become conscious. But in those moments of consciousness, I saw that I could not kick my feet or do anything to get myself to the ocean surface. I was drowning. I was not swallowing water, but there was no more air. There was that proverbial tunnel of light. I didn't have any fear as I felt myself go into that tunnel. And right there, as soon as I was in the tunnel, there was no more body pain. And spirit, I don't think it was Aaron, came to me. And the whole thing plays out in my mind as a couple of minutes, but of course I could not have survived without breathing for that long, so it must have been much shorter. I was told you have a choice. If you choose to live, we'll help bring you to the surface, but we cannot promise what kind of body you're going to have. Whether there's back or spinal or neck injury, whether you're going to be paralyzed. But you have that choice. You can choose, and we'll help you reach the surface. Or you can go on and move on out of this human experience. And there's no shame in choosing that. You may do that. And from deep in my heart, well, there was just a thought, I choose to live. I'm not finished my work here. And it was not based at all in fear. I wasn't afraid to die. It was based on that, here I am, Lord, I have heard you calling in the night. I'm a Dharma teacher and a channel for Aaron, and I want to do more in service to this world where there's so much suffering. I choose to live. And then I felt energy lift me up. All I can say is it felt like hands came under my arms and lifted my face to the surface, where I was able to get a couple of sputtering breaths of air. And the people around me who had seen me disappear saw me, my face, blood streaming from my face. You can see the scar here, blood streaming from my face. And they got me up and they pulled me into shore. I think what Mary wants me to talk about here is how strong that in that moment, there was a lot of pain, but there was no fear. There was very strongly a sense of, I will use this catalyst for the highest good. I consecrate this body to the light. And I'm not setting myself up as being anyone special who can do this. Any of you can do this. It grows out of our practice, out of mindfulness, out of being able to see the experience of pain and fear and not get caught up in it, not let it overwhelm me and overtake me and control me, but to just say, fear, you are not the boss. Pain, you are not the boss. In this moment, where is love? And at that point in 2004, let's see. I had been practicing meditation for over 40 years. So the practice was pretty well grounded. Mindfulness and just how to connect with a loving heart. I think what's important here is that, I'm tempted to say, if I can do it, anyone can do it. That's part of it. But the other part of it is simply holding tight, no matter what happens, holding tight to that which we hold dear, to that which is love with us. And knowing we are that love, we are the expression of that love in the world, no matter what we're going through. We can make that choice. We may not have the choice about whether a wave is going to whack us unconscious, but we have the choice about what we're going to do with the experience. And the deeper we go into our practice, the more steady that becomes.